Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to speak about data hierarchy and grouping by multiple columns. And I would like also to do a short um, video, not like previous videos, which in my opinion were too long. For today's video, I will choose two result sets to prove or to show the proof of concept. I will retrieve the script repository with all the server information that we have and let's say the backup history. And the backup history. I'm using these scripts because they have a date time column that we can use to show how we chart date hierarchy and how we can see the labels on multiple levels, exactly like Power BI does. I will execute this script also. And if you remember from a previous video, I show how we can display data hierarchically. So for example, if you want to display data vertically for this result set, if you choose a column which is of type datetime, then you will see this type of information. If I will choose backup start date, the data will be displayed like this, but I want to display it normally, no. And if we go to display grid, we will see the data like year, month, day, and day. And after that, we can choose to add, for example, database name, and the backup size. Database name, and after that, we can choose to display it as a column, and we can choose also to display backup size. And we can have this information, and this information we can copy and paste it in an email, and we have it displayed, let's say, data hierarchically based on year, month, and day. The approach using this is the fact that if I want to remove the day, I don't have this possibility using this implementation. If I want to remove the month, I cannot remove it. So this is the reason for which I decided to split the datetime column in year, month, quarter, and day. So for example, in order to achieve something similar to this, but having the option to remove the month or the year or the day, we can just go here, and for backup start date, we will say that we want to display year from the datetime column, the quarter, the month, and the day. The columns have been added, and if we will refresh here, we have the option now to start to display the year and, for example, the quarter. And again, we can choose the column that we want to display, for example, database name, and we'll choose backup size, and if we have two databases, no, a backup which was taken, for example, for DBA rep, we have multiple backups which were taken in quarter 2. If we choose the sum, we have here the sum. So this implementation is much better because you can choose the quarter, you can choose the month, and you can choose the year, and you can add them individually. let's see daytime hierarchically in action, but when it comes to charting. We'll choose the other result set, server repository, and let's suppose that we want to, of course, for this result set, we can add the same columns like for data created. For day created, we can split that column in year, quarter, month, day, exactly as I showed in the previous video. But the point is that I want to chart this exactly like Power BI does, and to display the columns and the labels for year, for quarter, and for month. So let's choose server name. Let's suppose that we want to find out how many servers were installed in 2018 in quarter 2. If we want to do that, we'll choose the server name. So we want the count, we don't want to do selecting, we want to do the charting. So we'll choose server name, count of server name, and on x-axis we'll put date created, and we'll choose that we want to see the date hierarchy. Of course, we want to make to return this space back to the chart, so we'll close or collapse that option, and here we can see the number of servers which were done in a splitted or grouped by year, quarter, month, and day. As I said, we would like to see the number of servers which were built in based per year and quarter. So we need to remove the days and the month from the aggregations. To do that, we'll just go here, and if we click on days, it will remove the days. If we click on month, it will remove the month. So we will see that in 2011, in quarter 4, we have one server, and here in 2015, in quarter 1, we have 11. 2015, in quarter 1, we have 11, so this is it. And for example, in 2019, we have here a lot of servers were built, it seems, in 2019, in quarter 1, 2, and 3. So this is how we can display. The problem with this is that in the current implementation, if I will try to add another column here in the group, it will not work as designed, because I implemented this date group by daytime and date hierarchy in a way in which it doesn't allow me. So in order to for example, group it by date created by a column which is daytime and by a different column, I need to do more logic, because if I will go here now and I will say group by next column, it will not work as expected, because I'm storing data in a specific format, so it will not work. This is something that I have to do. But if I remove the date created and I will add release or edition, but let's add release, and I will add also number of CPUs and number of cores. If I will group by next column, you'll see it is working, it is better. This is the implementation, and if you remember, this is something that I realized just before making this video, that when I'm grouping by multiple columns, the labels were not exactly like on multiple levels. I would have had, if you remember from the other videos, I will just remove this. I would have had something like AM first domain bus pipe character 2012 as label. But now we have the years, the release on the first row, and after that we have the domain, exactly like Power BI does. Of course, I did the same for the chart control. So if we are trying to do exactly what we did in the single chart control, this should behave almost the same. So let's say we want again to add to see the number of servers which were installed in a specific year. So let's say server name, count of server name, and we'll group by date time, by date created, of course. We'll choose date hierarchy, and this is the information. And if we want, for example, to see it grouped only by quarters, we'll remove the year. So it is grouped only by the day, month, and quarter. If we want to see it grouped only by month and day, we'll just remove this and we'll see it grouped by month and day. Of course, if you scroll, let's put back the year. Let's put back the year, and let's put back also the quarter. And let's start scrolling. If we'll start scrolling, we'll see the information like this. Oops, okay. So let's start scrolling. We'll see the information based on year and quarter and so on. If we are going back here, it's like I said, it's behaving the same. We have also the option to scroll. But if we go back to results, yes, this is happening because object reference not set on instance of an object. I need to see why this is happening. Twelve 314. Animation grid because is not displayed. Let's continue here. Okay, let's go back here. And first I need to select the result set and now go to the option for this. So this is something that I need to take in consideration. If the selected tab is the one with chart, I shouldn't I should ignore it and do not display information. If I'm going for the multiple options for the result set, I need to be sure that I have selected the result set, and only after that to display the information about this, to display information about the columns and to give the user the possibility to choose those fast aggregations for specific columns. What I wanted to show here is like let's say that you want to have the number of servers which were created in 2018 quarter 2. In order to achieve this, we'll go here and we'll say for date created. For date created, I want to have year and quarter, and it will add those columns. I will go to the date created. They created, and I said for 2018, for example, let me choose 2018. Okay. and let me choose the quarter, which will be let me choose the quarter, which is quarter 2. I'm scrolling. The server, as you already know, is not as fast as it should be, and quarter, we said that we want to see only for quarter 2. We'll filter also by quarter 2. Okay, and we'll go to display vertically, and I will choose not horizontally, I want vertically. We'll delete because we want to start with a fresh column names and a fresh information, and we'll choose date created. We said that we want it by year, we want it by quarter, and we'll choose server. Let's group also by domain. Let's say how many servers were created, grouped in each domain in 2018 in quarter 2. Let's now choose server name, and we'll put it as count. And here we have the information in quarter 2 in 2018. We had created this number of servers. If we want to see the information for a different year, we'll just go here to date created. Let's go to find again date created column. And let's say that we want all the quarters. So we'll remove the filter. We have the information, and I don't need to delete to select all the columns. I will just uncheck the server name. We'll have the quarters. Let's increase this to see better, and we'll check back the server name, and we'll choose not the sum max to have it, and we'll choose the count again. And now we can see all the servers, the number of servers which were built in 2018 in each quarter. Domain 19, 35, 28. So this is how we can use date hierarchy when we want to display information based on year, quarter, month, and so on. And for example, if you want to share this information, we'll just go to copy to tabular format. Only more than 61 columns, how do we save as HTML here? See users HTML. Let's see. If we would have had less column, this information could have been copied and displayed nicely in Outlook or DIMS. In Outlook, if you want to display an HTML table which has more than 62 columns, is not nicely displayed. So let's go here in this location and let's try to see File Explorer, Downloads. I'll just try to type it because I don't want to browse. So Control C, Notepad, Control V, Control C, search. And put it here. open with Google Chrome. So this is information, and you can copy this information and put it also in Outlook. As I can see here, I have less than 62 columns displayed, but this is something that I need to go back in the code why I received this message that it couldn't copy it to clipboard to be easily pasted in Outlook. Let me go back and let me choose only 2 quarters. So let's suppose that we want to select to see all the servers which were installed in all domains but not grouped by quarter. So we'll uncheck quarter. I will choose max only to have the possibility to go back to count, and let's try to see if we can copy to tabular format. Due to a header spanning more than 61 columns, the output was saved again there. Okay, let's see if this is really accurate. Go back to get backup history. We'll decrease to see the result set for backup history. And let's say whenever, so this the column that we just added, year, quarter and month, are not persistent every time you select the result set from the memory. You will lose the column that were created because I'm not adding those columns in the result set in the memory. So let's add the column again here. I will add it here, and I will say delete. Let's say date created year, and I want the database name. Okay, column and backup size Let me try to copy this to tabular format. Okay, it copied to tabular format. It didn't complain about those 61 columns. And if I will try to open Outlook, where is Microsoft Office? So Outlook. Outlook, and if I will open a new email, if I will paste it, we can send this information to the colleague that we want. Unfortunately, for the time being, I don't have an option to save the chart. Let's go back to the server repository. Let's go back. I will increase this one. Let's go back to the chart. I don't have an option to save this chart as an image that I can easily insert in the email. The only thing that we can do is to just use a sniping tool to make like this, something like this, and we'll just add it in the email. We'll just add this in the email if we want to give also graphical representation of the chart. Another thing that I didn't show in the previous email was a proof of concept that I did for saving the chart. So for example, let's say that you create some charts, and you want to save those charts in order to open them next day. So you'll just go file, save as, let's say we'll give server repository charts 25 March 2023, and we'll save. It complains about something. We don't know why it complains. Let's see if it saves something. File, save as. This proof of concept for saving the chart happened before I added this control to the chart. So this control is it allows you to change the color and the font used for the labels in the chart. So for example, I can choose here the color for x-axis red. So you see we have red here, and for if I want to do the for x-axis, I can choose green. I will bold them. As you can see, a message box appears because I was maybe still working and do something, and I left that message box. I forgot to comment it, but as you can see, this is how you can you can use this. And maybe when I was doing the proof of concept of saving the chart, and after that I add this control to format the chart, is affecting the saving of the chart state. So in order for this, let me close the application to try to make a chart as simple as possible without modifying too many things, like going and doing the chart also here and also. So let me go close the application. Let me reload the application. And let me just chart the first script that we retrieve using the application, which is information about the servers and their connection string. So let's wait for the application to load. And okay, this is because sometimes the script is not executed. For example, if I'm going to here, the script, so SQL Server was not online, is not so that's why I need to run a script again. So let me run a different script. History get backup history. I will execute it, and let's go back to the charting. I will chart this. I will chart this. I will say backup size group by database name. So we have this information. Okay, and let's say we want to save the chart. Save as. Backup history. But so this is a test that I did a long time ago. Let's say backup history. 2. I'll save it. The given key, let's see where is the error is complaining about. Key, key, file name. Okay, this letter file, Control C, Control F. Sets. So it's complaining about a key somewhere here. So the given key was not present in the dictionary. We'll have to check exactly where is the issue. Line 9985. Okay, 9985. Dataset name to save result copy. So let's put here a breakpoint, and let's try to continue. And file, let's try to save again, backup history, choose a different name again, save. Okay, we are going here and we are going to save in executed script whatever is in this table, rows E, dataset name to string. So let's see what we have. E, it's 0, what we have in this table that we are trying to save. As you can see here, we don't have here a dataset name, it's blank, and I remember having this fixed, so maybe I forgot to copy it from because I'm working on the Azure computer, but sometimes I'm working to the same project also on the local computer, so most probably I forgot to save the changes I made on the local computer and save them to the Azure computer. That's why in a different version I was already setting a dataset name here. So the quickest way to solve this is to just try to do a selecting to have this information populated. But if the user doesn't do any selecting, so is not using the selecting feature of the chart, this should still work. You'll see what I mean. Let's press continue. And let's go here, and I will choose also the selecting feature because I'm using the selecting feature if I will select here backup size, the information in that table would have been already populated. So if I would try to save, then the key would have been there in this table at that position for this column, and it should pass this breakpoint. We can test that by just trying to save the chart again, backup history 2, or save it, and we will move on. Okay, because it's saving multiple, we'll just continue. Okay, so it's saved. If we go back to downloads, but I'm very disappointed because I did this already, I fixed this, and I thought I already, let's say, committed that to the other version of the project, but it seems somehow I missed it or something happened. So this is our project state, let's say, or application state when it comes to charting capabilities. And let's close the application, or yeah, let's close the application, reload the application. So let's suppose that tomorrow we'll start again the application, and we want to load the charts which were saved in the previous day. So we will try to just open that chart. Whatever I showed in LinkedIn, as I said, it was a proof of concept which was written before doing multiple modifications to the chart control. So I might have missed some places, and I need to go again through all of this method in order to be sure that I have everything in place to save the state of the project. So let's wait for the application to be loaded. As you can see, this actually was the result of a Google search, because I was searching how Power BI save the charts, and somebody was saying in a comment they are just saving the result sets, the data sets, and so I started to Google about how to save the data sets and so on. So this is the result of this method. Okay, so let's go back here, cancel. Let's say that we want to open that chart. We'll go to the chart control, let's say, and I will say file, open report. We'll choose backup history 2, and we'll choose open, and we have database name, backup size in here. So it loaded appropriately when it came to the columns we were checked, the database group by database name, backup size, and group by database name. Here the chart is not displayed appropriately, but if I will try to click on it, it's displayed appropriately. This might have been happening because of a call to a method which I didn't write or something. So it's still an work in progress, and I'm saying it's still a work in progress because of all the modifications I did in the past. If we go to selecting, it says that the given key was not found in the dictionary, but as you can see here, it populated backup size. It's still checked for the selecting option, and it's still in the value of backup size. So if I will try to click to add another column here, duration of minute, it's working as expected. This still needs to be carefully checked, and you need to solve all the scenarios that might have happened, and it still requires work, but it shows how you can save the state and how you can share your reports with somebody. Of course, it needs to be optimized, because if we are going back to the code, you will see here that I'm saving all the result sets. So if I will have a chart here, if I'm going back here to the charting capabilities, and I will add a new chart which uses the same result set, this. So for example, let's say that I will add a new chart here. Let me move this one. And I will add a new chart here, this one, and I will say also backup size. Okay, count of backup size, and let's make this one back to, I already mentioned about this transition from one state to another, but it's it requires just more look into how, when, or the user selects a chart, and which one was the previous chart, and so on. Because now, for example, if I'm selecting the charts, their chart type is not changing, but whenever I'm adding a new chart, I need to look to see what chart I'm doing, what is the chart, the last chart that was selected, and what chart type it has, and be sure that the transition is done smoothly. But what I want to say about this saving charting capability is that for this second chart, I'm using the same result set. If we are going back to the code here, you will see that for each row in this table, I'm saving the result set behind that chart. So for this, I have two charts which points to the same result set, but unfortunately, when I did this proof of concept, I'm saving this result set two times in the data set. It should have more logic, and if a chart is pointing back to the same result set, then you shouldn't waste space on disk to save that result set under a different name two times. So this is what I'm trying to say. It's not perfect, but I did and I worked to this entire feature of saving the chart only to see how it can be done and what it involves. So if we try to save the chart again, let's suppose that we want to save the chart again. We'll just press save it. Okay, we'll close it. We'll just reload the application. Because sometimes I don't want to drag and drop and to create charts for the same result sets every day. So I would like to have the possibility to create the charts one time, and every time you open that file, then the state of the work you previously done would be in place, exactly like Power BI and exactly like any other application. If you are writing something in your Word document, after you close it, when you open it, you find it exactly as you left it. So let's wait for the application to load. I will just cancel here. Another application, because the hard-coded part of this requires me to have this chart control selected. If I wouldn't select this and I will try to load the chart while I'm in a different tab, then it would give me some errors because of how it was written. I don't know if I fixed that. Let me see. If I fix that, let me open the report while the user has selected a different chart, a different control. Like, for example, he selected to see the scripts and he is trying to load a report. So open report. Let's choose backup history 2. Open. Okay, so it seems I fixed that, and I don't need to really select the tab control, the chart control to have it done. Okay, so this is the state of the charts when I save them. As you can see, both of the charts have the grill, have the border. I'll do when we were working before saving this, only this chart was the one that was active at the moment of we choose to save the chart. So this is something else that needs to be taken in consideration when I'm loading the information from the that file and recreating the charts and retrieving the state. Okay, I'm trying to do something here. Okay, I put here this. I cannot move this for the time being because it was too much to the right, it seems. Let me collapse this a little bit, and now I am able to move it a little bit because these are like small things which make the importance. I know that I had to collapse this because every time I'm selecting a chart, I'm clicking on it, it will check to see if its margin somehow are outside of this area, and if it's outside of this area, it will try to move the chart a little bit to the left in order to be in the charting area. Okay, so I move it here, and let's suppose that we want to do some filtering for this, and for that chart we'll want to have only the count of backup size, where the backup size is 2772992 and so on. So let's do this, apply chart. Okay, have 3. Let's see the proper labels here. Backup size. Okay, 3, and let's save it again. Save. Already belongs to this data set. As I mentioned, this needs more work to do because the proof of concept that I created was for loading the chart but not modifying after it. So it was just a proof of concept. So I need to be sure that to give the user also the opportunity after it loads the chart, open the report, he can do whatever modification, and when I'm trying to save the chart again, I need to fix all these messages. So this is fixable. It's not something that it cannot be fixed, but when I created this proof of concept for saving the chart, I didn't take this in consideration. Okay, so let's reload the chart. Let's reload another chart application and do some filtering and save the result set, and open also the result set to see if this filtering comes in place. I mean, if it is shown. So let's do again, but we'll use this time server repository. So whatever the errors you are seeing here, these are errors. They are not like transient errors which will be solved in the next launching of the application. You just need to deal them separately, but this requires more time, and it requires to take in consideration all the cases. But once again, this was a proof of concept to just show the user or to make a demo case that you can save the state and you can load that state. It was not a proof of concept that you can save a specific state, you can load that state, you can do the modifications, you can save the state again, do other modification, and so on. For that thing to work, the code that is written as we speak requires some modifications. So let's go back here, let's go cancel repository. So repository, execute. And let's go. The saving the report is not done for this charting capability here for a single result set. The saving report capability or proof of concept was created only for this chart control. Let me do here charting. We'll say that we want to say server names, number of server names, server name by domain, group by domain. Okay. And we will save it. We said that we want some filtering, so we'll go to domain. We'll try to filter the domain. We'll choose single or multiple selection, and we want to have for EU dev domain and the EU first domain bus. We'll apply that filtering. This is the filtering. Okay, 634. Okay, and 250, and we'll say file, save as. Server report per domain. Report per domain. We'll just save. The given key was not in the repository. If you remember, again, he's complaining about the selecting capability, that we don't have a dataset name, and we are trying to retrieve it from that table to give it as an input for a key in a dictionary. So I will just put here backup product as values to have that information populated. I'm going back to the charting, and I will try to save it again. Save as server report. Server report. Okay. 225. Doesn't matter the name, really. I'll just save it. It was already filtered. We don't need to close it. We'll just reload the application. And let's see. Okay. If I will have time, I will try to fix this saving chart. Even if a user didn't use the selecting, I need to search for the previous version where I know 100% sure that I modified the code and I did the modifications. Okay, so let's see, file, open report. We will choose server report, open. Okay, we have this, and if we will choose the filter and single or multiple, we have this selected already. Okay, so let's say we want also the DMZ to be included in the chart, apply, and we have this information. Okay, so this is about saving the charting state capability. It still requires work it was created as a proof of concept before adding this control and the possibility to change the labels and the size for the chart, and it was created also before other major modifications to the application, but it's working and it just requires some modifications. I show also the date hierarchy. I show it also like in the result set and to display it vertically. So I hope you enjoyed the video and see you to the next one. Bye.